Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be breaking down Noah Lyles' 60-meter start, and we're going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so it's been really a big topic of conversation here within the track and field community, where Noah Lyles is really starting to put a focus on, being able to improve his 60-meter, which is very interesting because I think it can really, carry over to more of that 100-meter runner. He's obviously been doing, some big things as a 200-meter runner for a long time, and really as a 100-meter, a sprinter as well. But not as much from the 60-meter perspective, and him really concentrating on it. And he recently here ran 6.56, which is a great time. It really puts in perspective, where he's going to be able to, potentially have a bigger, impact on in that 100-meter, right? And so we have, this was from 6 years ago, so we want to see some of the development that Noah Lyles had over the years. First, you could see he switched his feet. Right now he has before he had his right foot, now he has his left foot forward. I definitely am more, I have my left foot forward. I like that a little bit more. The initial, push, I think he does a much better job of being able to get that foot down quickly, right? When we see the positioning of the body here, he's not getting that elbow to come out in front as much, right? So we see here how far out in front his elbow is as he's starting, and also, when we've been talking about the angle, he still has that really good angle, but he's landing, and it seems like he's really trying to take a big step out in front, where now he's doing a better job of landing a little bit more right underneath that hip, and that will help him in being able to transition off the ground better. Let's see, time-wise here, he's about 5.3, and these times are always, it's hard to be able to see 100% just because of, all the things that could potentially slow this down. But yeah, so he's at about 0.17-ish, I would say, in terms of first foot hitting the ground. Let's compare that. He's at 0.248. Let's do 8. And then 0.414. Yeah, so he's at about a similar, a little bit maybe higher, right? So, before he's a little bit under the 0.17, I'm kind of rounding up. And this one, he's still at 0.17, I'm kind of rounding down for that 0.17. So it's a little bit of, a difference there. But they're both really close. So we're within, a couple thousandths of a second there in terms of, how much time he's spending on the ground within that first step. Landing with that second step, again, underneath him very effectively there. I think the second step here looks a lot better, in my opinion, than here, as much as he's doing a really good job of being on his heel, or sorry, on his ball of his foot, keeping that heel high there, and really doing a great job too of having that good heel recovery even from a young age. And that really allows you to be able to maximize those shin angles, right? When you land and you have that ability to bend within that ankle, now you could really push off and be able to maximize, how much distance you're picking up per step, and by focusing on the start. And I think he really, got better with the start, but then also was able to really maximize his drive phase, stay a little bit more patient through his drive phase here, because, as he's going through the start, there's some things that are a little bit different, obviously, with the, position of, his feet, changing that up. But also, as he's going through here, he's really began reaching way earlier here, where now it seems like he's not putting as much of a focus on reaching, but instead of being able to land with those feet a little bit more underneath the hips, and really being able to put a focus on, turnover speed, getting those legs going faster. And I think that's a really important thing to be able to understand, is that, we want to be able to put a priority on really maximizing your turnover speed as you're getting started, instead of thinking too much about how much distance you're picking up per step, right? The distance will kind of take care of itself, and a lot of what ends up being the distance, but it is that your distance per step doesn't come from the reach, right? We've talked about this before. It doesn't come from how you get your foot out in front here. Your distance per step comes from how you're hitting the ground, how you're striking the ground, right? So see how he's reaching out in front so early here? Where here, he's doing a better job of being able to keep that shin at a little bit more of a bent position, and then he's pulling back underneath himself, right? So now he's landing with a little bit more bend in the shin, or in the knee, right? Where here he's landing with a little bit more straightness in the knee, okay? But he's focusing on reaching out here, where really the focus wants to be being able to contact the ground in a way that's going to be able to assist you in moving forward, right? And so when you can put a focus on, more of the how than the what, I think that helps you out in being able to, achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? So the how is being able to strike the ground in that horizontal way to be able to really land on the balls of your feet and really have that more of a shin angle that's going to maintain horizontal action instead of getting too caught up in the vertical action, which is what comes from really trying to reach those feet out in front, too early. Yeah, when you get to your top speed, you got to be able to get those feet out in front and then pull back underneath, right? But when you're first starting, it's really about being able to maximize that where your foot's landing and being able to build up that turnover speed. And as you're building up that turnover speed, being able to assess the spine position that best helps you in being able to maximize force and being able to maximize the amount of distance that you're picking up per step and being able to maximize the amount of time that you're spending on the ground per step, right? So and that's why a lot of people, you got to focus a lot on your drive phase, right? Because when you work on your start, the reason that you're working on your start is to be able to help you get to a more effective drive phase and then get you into a great top end speed phase, right? And so you don't do yourself any favors by, when you're going through the start, not thinking about how can I optimize this start to make it so I can effectively get into my drive phase and into my top end speed phase. If you're just thinking about doing the start and maximizing the start, then you might end up losing some of your top end speed, which is not going to be a benefit for you. Or you might lose some of your ability to get into your drive phase or the effectiveness in the drive phase. The start, optimizing the start has to be with the mentality of how can I utilize this start to be able to better set me up into the drive and in the top end speed. It doesn't want to be just a focus on being able to improve the start, because if you just run a great 10 meter, right, we see this all the time. People run great 10 meters or great first 30 meters and they get caught at the end, right? And that's because they didn't optimize their actual top end speed positioning relative to their start. And so as they go through that start to drive to top end speed, they really don't get the correct carryover that will really assist them at being the best that they could possibly be. And that's what you want to be able to understand when you're going through those drive phases. And it's hard to be able to say what everybody needs to do, right? It has to be, something where you get a good understanding of what the top end speed is, right? That's why I like that treadmill, because now I can see how fast I run, right? And I get a good understanding of what that feels like to be running at my top speed. And then I work my start to be able to assist me into that top end speed, right? But now that I have a good understanding of my top end, I can work back, okay? I don't think it's a good idea to work the start and then use the start, the information from the start to go then into top end speed, okay? I think you want to work backwards. You want to go top end speed and figure out what's great about that, and then work that back into how you can optimize your start to be able to get to your top speed every time, okay? Because what made Usain Bolt run 9.58 wasn't that he had, a start that was totally different. It was that he was able to get into his top speed. It's that he was able to run, 27.8 miles per hour. Okay, so how did he get to that 27.8 miles per hour? He had the start necessary to be able to build up into that top speed. But the big thing is he achieved that top speed. His start wasn't anything that blew anybody away, right? It was no record start, okay? But it was a start that was best for him to make it so then he can get into that 27.8 miles per hour, which made it so that he ran the fastest time ever. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you like the information, go ahead and click that thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, you can leave those down below. Check out some of the things that we have in the description. We always are creating new opportunities for you to get better, get faster, get a better understanding of what you can do from a technical perspective in order to really maximize your overall sprinting. I get a lot of videos, honestly, about, hey, what can I do with my start? What can I do in my drive phase? What do I do in my top end speed phase? And I, sometimes we'll respond, like leave a couple messages and say some things, quickly, but, really that's more of a service, guys. Like I'm trying to do these videos to be able to help out as many people as I can. But the speed breakdowns are their own thing, so, I'm not going to be able to get to all the different videos and give you too much information unless you, sign up to get a breakdown, and it's not very expensive to get a breakdown, and it's a true commitment to being able to actually improve within your speed. So, I know you guys are trying to save a couple bucks or whatever, but at the end of the day, how is that going to end up benefiting you? How is that going to end up serving you? How is you, trying to save a little bit of money going to really create more opportunity for you down the road? If anything, you want to be able to start investing in you, invest in your future, understand that your mechanics matter, the details matter, having some accountability, having a coach, all those things matter. And so, you want to make sure that this is something, if you want to do it, then do it, right? Don't go halfway and just send me a random Instagram video saying, hey, how do I do my start? Because, really from my perspective, I don't think that you're really even serious about anything when you do that, right? You're not really serious about getting into development. You probably just send the same video to 10 different speed coaches. I don't know, but I don't think that if you go and you buy a speed breakdown, that you're going to be going and buying 10 different speed breakdowns to try to get information. I think that that is something that you're going to do, one, maybe with 2 different coaches, but you're going to really put a commitment to you, and that's really what I want to be able to respond to and help you out more with. So no, it's obviously no personal attack or anything like that when I don't respond. I'm just giving you guys some information on what the breakdown is, what the speed program is, my commitment to the people that actually do those, right? If you actually do the speed breakdown, the speed program, you get a whole nother level of commitment from me, which is going to really help you in being able to improve your speed. So as always, thanks for watching, and click the thumbs up, subscribe, talk to you soon.